Good morning. This is Wednesday, the 31st of October, Halloween, and I hope it's not too spooky for you all. And this is the A-Team who will be reading the Kirkintilloch Herald for you. Rita is speaking, and I have Hugh sitting across from me, who's our recorder. The rest of the team are as normal. We have a full team this week. We have Margaret, we have Lindsay, we have Eileen, and we have David, who will all be taking their turn. Now, the first item is by Liz Gallagher, and it's a pledge to provide better health care. There's a photograph with this article, and it's about a new primary care improvement plan which will focus GP time on those with the most medical need. And there's a picture of a primary care worker with a little baby and the mother just checking the baby over. People living in Eastern Bartonshire are set to benefit from improved access to locally based healthcare, according to a health board. This is part of an ambitious new way of working, says NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde Board. A recent board meeting heard that as a result of the Scottish Government's investment of £10.2 million in primary care services this year, patients in local communities will see improved access to locally based health care. The board was told that the investment will be followed by a further 3-year investment package, which will also deliver improved public health and mental health. There will be significant recruitment to expand multidisciplinary teams to ensure patients see the most appropriate health or care professional. The investment will also pay for the recruitment of additional community pharmacists and physiotherapists. This additional recruitment is part of the new Primary Care Improvements Plans, PCIP, being put in place across each of the NHS GGC's 6 health and social care partnerships, and is designed to focus GP time for those with the most medical need. The Eastern Bartonshire Plan aims to give people across Eastern Bartonshire better access to services, improve public health and mental health, focus GP time for those with the most medical need, expand multidisciplinary teams to ensure patients see the most appropriate health professional. An NHS GGC spokesperson said the board anticipates this new way of working will help people in Eastern Bartonshire access the right person, at the right place, at the right time. The goal is that GPs and primary care will be at the heart of the local healthcare system. The investment and recruitment of new staff means people will access the right professional at the right time, meaning they can remain at or near home where possible. The plan will respond to local needs and priorities in Eastern Bartonshire. It will set out how it will develop the new services and teams, as well as the best use of resources. Expanding the board's primary care workforce to make it both more integrated and better coordinated with secondary and community care will enhance patients' primary care experiences, according to the health board. Views are sought on multi-million-pound plan for Partick Thistle FC training ground at land at Kirkintilloch. And this article is by Liz Gallagher. There is also a picture with this article with an aerial view of the ground earmarked for the site of the former sewage works, which is where they intended to put this new playing field. The firm behind plans to build a new £4 million football training ground at Kirkintilloch wants to hear from people living near the site. Investment Company 3 Black Cats Limited is behind the project for Partick Thistle FC on the site of the former Dryfield sewage treatment works. The firm is hosting a drop-in event on Monday, October 29th from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. at Kirkintilloch Town Hall, Lesser Hall, Union Street, Kirkintilloch. That meeting obviously has now passed, and I don't think there's going to be another one. So following a consultation event held at the Town Hall on 20th September, this is a further opportunity for local residents to learn more about the proposed development ahead of the submission of a planning application. The exhibition will illustrate the proposed approach to development, and the project team will be on hand to answer questions and receive feedback on the proposal. A proposal of application notice has been submitted for the redevelopment of the site to provide a state-of-the-art football training facility, including pitches, pavilion building, storage and maintenance buildings. Additional infrastructure to support the redevelopment will include lighting and landscaping. The event forms part of Three Black Cats' public consultation on a change of use for the land formerly Dryfield Sewage Treatment Works off Kirkintilloch Road. Craig Dunn, project manager at Three Black Cats, said, "As we prepare to submit a planning application, we are looking to hear from people locally interested in learning more about our proposed development and to share their comments and feedback." The proposal for a first-class training ground represents a significant investment and brings back into use a site which has been derelict for some time. The 29th October will provide a further opportunity for us to meet with local residents living close to the Dryfield Works site, as well as members of the wider community. We look forward to outlining the scheme again and answering any questions they have around the redevelopment. We believe we have found the ideal location for the new training ground, and we look forward to working with the local community. Three Black Cats expect a full planning application to be lodged by the end of the year. The 26-acre facility is scheduled to be completed and operational in 2019. It will be known as McParland Park in honour of Thistle legend David McParland. And obviously some of this information has already out of date, but I'm sure that we will be getting more information as the proposal goes forward.
Deaths. Joyce Harris. Peacefully at Southdown Care Home, Hastings, on October 19th, 2018, formerly of Mulgai and Kirkintilloch. Beloved wife of John for 51 years, and mother of Ian and Sarah. Funeral will take place on November the 5th at 1:30 p.m. at St Luke's United Reformed Church, Hastings. Donations to Alzheimer's Research UK. George Legg. Suddenly at home near Lanark on Monday, October 22nd, 2018. George, dearly beloved son of Rena Sheriffs and Ewan Legg. Devoted father of Leslie Ann, Blair and Ewan, and loving brother of Donald, Caroline and the late Cameron. Funeral service to take place at Glasgow Crematorium, Maryhill, on Friday, November 2nd at 11:15 a.m, to which family and friends are respectfully invited. Family flowers only, please. Acknowledgements. Eddie Egan. Paul, Joan and family would like to thank family and friends for their kind wishes, cards and flowers following the sad loss of their dad. Special thanks to Father Hannah, Co-op Funeral Care, all doctors and nurses at Stobhill Hospital and Glasgow Royal Infirmary. Keep safe in the run-up to Bonfire Night, an article by Liz Gallagher. With November the 5th fast approaching, community safety partners in East Dunbartonshire are urging people to keep safe whilst enjoying Bonfire Night festivities. The partners, made up of East Dunbartonshire Council, the Scottish Fire and Rescue Service and Police Scotland, are working together on a joint approach to minimise antisocial behaviour, discourage the misuse of fireworks and reduce the number of bonfires being built in dangerous locations. The nearest organised displays arranged this year include St Maurice's High School, Cumbernauld, Saturday, November the 3rd at 7:30 p.m, Strathclyde Country Park, Motherwell, Monday, November the 5th, fireworks 7:30, Glasgow Green, Glasgow, Monday, November the 5th at 7:30 p.m, and Dalmuir Park, Clydebank, Tuesday, November the 6th at 7:30 p.m. Chief Inspector Jerry Corrigan, Area Commander for East Dunbartonshire Police Scotland, said, "I would like to encourage members of the public to attend official organised events as they are the safest and easiest way to be part of this enjoyable time of year. Misuse or irresponsible use of fireworks can cause lasting injury and have a detrimental effect on local communities due to the noise and associated antisocial behaviour. Along with our community safety partners, we will be out proactively tackling firework misuse and illegal bonfires to ensure people and communities are kept safe whilst enjoying activities. Councillor Billy Hendry added, "Those of us who enjoy the spectacle of fireworks and bonfires should always be mindful fire can quickly get out of control and fireworks can be extremely dangerous. We should also consider that some people do not enjoy the festivities and find fireworks in particular extremely frightening. Reports of antisocial behaviour caused by misuse of fireworks or unauthorised bonfires will be dealt with by our officers who will be working with our community safety partners throughout bonfire night." And there's a picture of a crowd of people obviously enjoying a beautiful firework display.
Hello everyone, this is Eileen reading for you this morning. Your letters. Parking. All at sea on Marina Way. Sir, Pam Painter, in your letters columns of last week, exhorted East and Bartonshire Council to put double yellow lines down at certain points in Lenzie in the interests of public safety and traffic management. If she is successful in getting the council to bring the lorries with yellow paint into action, could I ask that the lorries also go into action at certain places in Kirkintilloch? By that I mean Marina Way and South Bank Drive, being on one of the main routes into and out of the Sainsbury's supermarket. By building Marina Way, the council has effectively also created another car park. The parking in these two roads interferes with the flow of vehicles and represents a traffic hazard. I am surprised that the police put up with this parking on these roads, since cars so positioned are also on one of the main accesses to and egresses from the local police headquarters. Yours, etc., Ian W. Thompson, Kirkintilloch Road, Lenzie. In dispute. Call truce for WW1 centenary. Sir, on November 11th, a remembrance service will take place at Auchinairn War Memorial. This is to commemorate the centenary of the end of World War I. It will consist of a short service, the silence, the memory and the laying of the wreaths. Similar events will be taking place throughout the UK and beyond. For many years, the people of Auchinairn have been taking part in such an event. This year's event, however, looks as though it will be remembered for all the wrong reasons. In past years, the people have met in the community hall for a cup of tea and a preparatory service. On this occasion, it would seem that such a preparatory gathering cannot take place. Why? Because the council and its employees are in dispute and there is a ban on overtime. This is understandable. However, an exception must surely be made on this momentous day, arguably a milestone in world history. Let us hope that an agreement can yet be reached. Otherwise, East and Bartonshire could well become a national, even an international laughingstock. Yours, etc., W. Finlay, Bishopsgate, Kenmure Drive, Bishopbriggs. Charities. BHF Makeover Challenge. Sir, this autumn, the British Heart Foundation, BHF, is calling on the nation to take on its makeover challenge by giving their homes a fresh new look using items bought in BHF stores. From upcycling a pre-loved piece of furniture to refreshing a whole room or space. The BHF is encouraging interiors enthusiasts, bargain hunters, and those on a budget to get involved. Simply head to your nearest BHF home store in Scotland to find items that will give your home a seasonal update. Then share the new looks on social media. Offering furniture and electrical goods, new and used homewares and stylish homes accessories, every item sold in BHF stores helps to raise money to transform the lives of people living in the UK with heart disease, stroke, vascular dementia and diabetes. Each year, heart and circulatory diseases kill around 15,300 in Scotland, and currently 685,000 people in the country are living with them. It's essential that we continue to accelerate research into new ways to prevent, diagnose and treat these terrible conditions. BHF furniture and home stores offer the perfect solution for students, first-time buyers and savvy shoppers seeking affordable homeware, with sofas from £95 and wardrobes from £40. To find out more and to search for your nearest BHF store, head to their website. Yours, etc., Phil Dent, the British Heart Foundation. Decembered appeal. Sir, I'm calling on dads, brothers, sons, nephews, granddads and uncles to grow a beard this December and raise money for Bowel Cancer UK. Taking part in Decembeard is simple. All you need to do is clean shave on 30th November and let your facial fuzz grow throughout the month. Already bearded? No problem. Dye, ditch or decorate your beard and join the campaign. Bowel cancer is the third most common cancer in men and the second biggest cancer killer in the UK. However, it shouldn't be. It's treatable and curable, especially if diagnosed early. Grow a beard this December and raise funds to support vital services and life-saving research. Yours, etc., Jim Rosenthal, sports broadcaster. Health. Protect against flu virus. Sir, as we move into flu season, it's time for people with asthma to protect themselves against the flu virus. New analysis by Asthma UK reveals that around 1 million Brits with asthma are at risk because they're not planning to get the flu vaccine. Even though 8 in 10 people with asthma say flu is a top trigger for life-threatening asthma attacks. That's why Asthma UK is urging people with asthma to get the flu vaccine as soon as possible to reduce their risk of catching the virus and prevent a life-threatening asthma attack. The flu virus can increase the inflammation in the airways so they can become narrow, leaving people coughing, wheezing and gasping for breath. This increased inflammation also means people are more likely to react to other triggers, such as pollen or pollution, increasing the chance of an asthma attack. Every asthma attack is potentially life-threatening, with around 3 people dying from one in the UK every day. Unfortunately, there are lots of myths about the flu jab not working, causing side effects or causing flu, and our research shows this is preventing people from getting it. But the vaccine can't give you flu. The potential side effects are minimal, and it could save people's lives by preventing a life-threatening asthma attack. Asthma UK's website provides all the information you need about flu. The flu vaccine is available free of charge to anyone with asthma who meets any of the following criteria. They have been using preventer medicines. They have needed a course of oral or systemic steroids. They have had a previous hospital admission because of their asthma. It can take up to 2 weeks for the vaccine to be fully effective, so we are urging people to get it as soon as possible so they're protected during the peak flu season in December and January. People with asthma should also make sure they keep taking their regular preventer medicines for their best chance of staying well with their asthma. Here are some top tips for people with asthma to protect themselves from flu this winter. Get a flu vaccine as soon as possible if you're eligible. Take your preventer inhaler, usually brown, as prescribed. Carry your reliever inhaler, usually blue, with you at all times. We are urging people to get the facts about flu so they can make an informed decision. Yours, etc., Dr. Andy Whittemore, Clinical Lead at Asthma UK. Charities. Kidscape Choose Respect. Sir, Kidscape are celebrating Friendship Friday on the 9th of November, on the run-up to Anti-Bullying Week from the 9th to the 12th. The theme of Anti-Bullying Week this year is Choose Respect, and on Friday the 9th we will be celebrating healthy and happy relationships with children across the country. Kidscape provides practical advice and support for children and families struggling with bullying. And this Friendship Friday, we are sharing top tips for parents and carers on promoting respectful relationships. Show an interest in your child's friendships. Encourage positive social interactions, but allow them to experience the ups and downs of friends and to seek your guidance as required. Read books and watch age-appropriate television shows and films with strong friendship themes. Discuss what being a good friend and being respectful means to them and to you. Support your child to understand that getting on and falling out with others is normal. You can still be friends, even if you do not always agree or do not want to play together. Help them learn to disagree respectfully and negotiate with their friends. They may need your help with specific words that they can use in difficult situations. For example, "I'm busy now, maybe we can play later," instead of "go away." Practice through role play. When conflicts arise, gently coach your child to problem solve and find their own solutions. Model ways of dealing with conflict appropriately. For example, walking away to calm down or practicing deep breathing. Go to their website for more advice and help. Yours, etc., Lauren Seeger-Smith, CEO, Kidscape.
Good morning, this is David speaking to you today, and I'm reading to you from the church service notices. Firstly, Lindsay Union Parish Church. The Guild meets in the church hall on Monday, November the 5th at 7:30. The speaker will be Jim Percival about St Kilda. A variety concert is being held on Saturday, November the 17th in the new hall at 7:30. Tickets, price £7, in aid of Alzheimer's Scotland, Caretus and Carers Link. The next notice is from Kirkintilloch Church of God. Come to the coffee corner on Wednesday from noon to 3 for coffee and home baking. The next message is from St David's Memorial Park Parish Church. The Tuesday short lunchtime service will be held on November the 6th at noon. The Friendship Club will also meet on November the 6th at the usual time of 2 p.m. Come along for a chat and a cuppa. All are welcome to attend all these services and meetings. Hairstains Baptist Church. Tuesday friends meet from 2 till 3, where we enjoy tea, coffee and cakes. Campsie Parish Church, Lennoxton. Saturday, November the 3rd, in support of the Church of Scotland National Day of Prayer, the church will be open from 10:30am to 11:30am for a time of prayer. Together We Pray events are being held all over Scotland on this day, and all are encouraged to come along and join in prayers for our community, our local church and the wider church. This will be informal and a relaxed time of prayer and contemplation. Everybody is very welcome to pop in even if just for a few minutes, or for as long as you feel it is necessary, to be part of this national event. Kenmure Parish Church, the Kenmure Guild, meets on Monday at 7:30, when the speaker will be Dr. Frank Dunn on the history of Stobhill Hospital. New members and visitors are welcome to attend. Kenmure is hosting the Big Quiz, a national event in support of Tier Fund, on Saturday, November the 17th. Get a team together and join us at that evening in the church hall. Millerton United Free Church. You may want to make a note of our Autumn Craft Fair on November the 10th and our involvement in Tier Fund's Big Quiz on November the 17th. Come and join a team or bring a team along with you. Lenzie Parish, Old Parish Church. This week, for a prayer for a short time, members of Time Out are visiting the local headquarters of Deaf Blind Scotland on Monday, November the 5th. Milton of Campsie Parish Church. Meat to Eat, a bread and soup lunch with home baking and tea and coffee on Fridays noon to 2pm. The Guild is having an open night on Wednesday, November the 7th with the Campsie accordion players. Tickets for this event cost £6, which includes a light supper. Colston Wellpark Church. The Brownies meet on Thursday, and Sing Aloud Community Choir is on Thursday also at 7:30 to 9pm. St Cyprian's Church Remembrance Weekend is very busy at St Cyprian's. On Saturday, November the 10th, we have an Armistice Centenary concert with music, song and poetry from World War I, starting at 7:30. If you wished information, information is available by telephoning 0141 776 3866. On Sunday, November the 11th at 10:30am, we have a special service remembering those who have died in the Great Wars, as well as marking the 100th anniversary of the end of the Great War. Everyone is welcome to join us for this. Also, the same day, we are taking part in a service at 2pm at the War Memorial on the Woodley Estate, remembering those who died in the Great Wars from the old Woodley Hospital. Everyone is welcome to join us for that service. And finally, Riverside Church. All are welcome to Coffee Corner, which meets on Wednesdays from 1:30 till 3:30. Come and enjoy some home baking with your friends. And there's a very good picture also included in the paper this week. Caldwell Hall's Trust have been given a grant of £2,500 from the Flight Path Fund, which will ensure volunteers in Torrance can reflow the village's community hall. The heavily used facility is in need of some refurbishment, and this grant will be of great assistance. The Caldwell Halls Trust, which runs the facility, holds its annual general meeting on Tuesday, November the 20th. More details can be on hand from caldwellhalls.org@gmail.com.
Hello everyone, this is Lindsay reading today, and we'll start with an article entitled "It's Time Dog Owners Cleaned Up Their Act." We are supposed to be a nation of animal lovers, so why do we treat them so badly? Every day we hear of someone being prosecuted for leaving dogs, cats, horses, rabbits and so on locked or tied up in cages or really small, cramped conditions. They have been left neglected for days and even weeks without food, water, any real comforts, and in desperate need of medical care. Bottom line is that some people just shouldn't be allowed to own pets. But even when we do find animals living in good homes and being well looked after, why do the owners still let themselves down and open to criticism? Dog owners are probably the worst offenders for this. Some can have one pet, others 2, 3, 4 or even more dogs. The home or kennel where the dog is kept can be spotless and they are well looked after. But that all goes out the window as soon as they take them for a walk. Why can't they clean up after them? In this day and age, it is ridiculous that our pavements, pathways and even parks are littered with dog fowl. Thankfully, not all dog owners are like this, but it is about time the others cleaned up their act. Now we have an article by Liz Gallagher. Choice of eat, heat or rent. Vulnerable tenants in Eastern Bartonshire are being forced to choose between heating, eating or paying their rent this winter. The Chartered Institute of Housing has revealed that more than 90% of local housing allowances now fail to cover the cheapest rents in the private sector. It says over the next year, some of the larger properties in Eastern Bartonshire will have a gap of more than £1,000. A CIH spokesperson said, "It is increasingly likely that renters will be forced to choose between paying for basic necessities like food and heating or their rent. This will put them at risk of poverty and homelessness." The Herald reported last week that an Eastern Bartonshire man was among 94 homeless deaths in Scotland during the past year. Local housing allowance, the way housing benefit is calculated and paid to tenants of private landlords, was frozen by the UK government for 4 years in 2016. The CIH is calling on it to review the policy and end the freeze. Strathkelvin and Bearsden SNP MSP Rona Mackay said, "This is just another example of the callous Westminster policies which are affecting the most vulnerable in society. On top of the disastrous universal credit, which has already had a terrible effect since the rollout in parts of my constituency, it shows how out of touch this Westminster government is with the lives of ordinary people." A CIH spokesperson added, "Our research makes it clear just how far housing benefit for private renters has failed to keep pace with even the cheapest private rents." A UK government spokesperson said, "We spend £24 billion a year on housing benefit each year." Have your say on your local taxi service. People are being invited to deliver their views on the modernisation of taxi conditions. Eastern Bartonshire is carrying out consultation from now until January the 4th on new draft policies for taxi and private hire vehicle operators and drivers. The goal is to bring local conditions up to date, protecting the public and making it easier for members of the trade to comply with the law. Briefings are being organised with drivers and operators, community groups, disability groups and more. Joint Leader Councillor Andrew Poulsen said, "We would like to hear your views on new traffic conditions and policies which aim to modernise guidance for the benefit of the public and trade. The new conditions set out responsibilities for safety and reliability of taxis." Joint Leader Councillor Vaughan Moody said, "This is good news promoting safety, equality and accountability as well as enhanced journey experiences. You can get involved by popping into a local library or community hub or write to Karen Donnelly, Legal and Democratic Services, East Dunbartonshire Council, 12 Strathkelvin Place, Kirkintilloch, G661TJ. Now we have a public notice. Ellisland Drive and Ellisland Kirkintilloch, temporary 10-mile-an-hour speed limit order. On the 30th of October 2018, the Eastern Bartonshire Council made the above-named order under Section 14, Part 1 of the Road Traffic Regulation 1984 as amended, which makes it unlawful for any person to drive or cause or permit to be driven any motor vehicle at speed exceeding 10 miles an hour on Ellisland Drive and Ellisland Kirkintilloch between its junction with Alloway Drive and Drumhill by reason of works being executed or near this road. This order will operate from 0800 hours until 1800 hours each day from Monday the 12th of November until Friday the 16th of November 2018.
The next item is entitled Firm on Call to Tickle Kids' Funny Bones and Communications Company Clowns Around to Help Charity. This article is by Liz Gallagher. A Kirkintilloch-based telecoms firm has launched a new initiative to support children's causes. Exchange Communications will donate £500 for every new Avaya telephone installation carried out for the remainder of 2018. The Britannia Panopticon charity, which raises funds for the world's oldest surviving music hall based in Glasgow, will be the first to benefit, nominated by Fraser's Hospitality. It is famed as the venue where a 16-year-old Stan Laurel made his debut. The cash will help fund the historic Trongate Hall's free Funny Bones children's programme in 2019, featuring clowning, writing and stand-up classes for children aged 7 to 13. It completed a successful pilot run this year. Tom Syme of Exchange said, "We wanted to do something to give back to the community, and in particular, we wanted to support and encourage children to realise their potential." The Funny Bones programme at the Britannia Panopticon is a shining example of the wonderful opportunities that can be made available to children with a little support. And with this article, there is a photograph of Kavita Bardway, who's a tutor, Robert McLaughlin of Fraser Sweets, Maya Craig, aged 9, of the Funny Bones Academy, Tom Syme of Exchange Communications, and Judith Bowers of the Britannia Panopticon. Ballot outcome. Threat of industrial action over pay for council employees. Council employees could be set to take industrial action after rejecting a revised 3% pay offer from COSLA. A ballot found 73% of Unite members voted to reject the 3% pay increase, and of those who rejected, 88% indicated support for industrial action. Anne Farrell of Unite Scotland said Unite members have emphatically rejected the revised pay offer. This outcome was inevitable in light of COSLA's failure to properly and fairly reward the lowest paid workers in local government. The reality for thousands of Unite members was a comparatively worse position as a result of this offer, which is completely unacceptable. Unite will now move towards a legal ballot following the mandate we have received from our membership, whereby we will be urging all members to vote for industrial action. North Lanarkshire Council leader Jim Logue believes Holyrood needs to fund a better pay deal. He said it's clear the Scottish Government can no longer duck their responsibility on this issue any further. COSLA has been clear that any agreement beyond what has already offered will mean job losses in councils across the country, including in North Lanarkshire. Meanwhile, COSLA Resources spokeswoman Councillor Gail McGregor said, "I am deeply disappointed Unison are urging their membership to reject what is a very fair offer." The next article is Picture of the Week, and this is a picture of the bandstand in Peel Park, Kirkintilloch by Rona Henderson, and it's a lovely autumn picture of the bandstand in a beautiful day. If you have a picture you would like to share with our readers, we're very welcome to have you send it in so that we can publish it in further editions of the local paper. The weekend weather. It's a bit of a mixed bag this weekend. There will be light rain showers on Saturday, with the wet weather not clearing until early Sunday morning. There will be a period of sunny intervals until the rain moves in again during the afternoon. And the temperatures for this week: Thursday, the high of 8, low of 2. Friday, high of 8, low of 6. Saturday, high of 9, low of 3. And Sunday, high of 8, low of 2. All of them with some rain apart from Thursday. Society of Antiques. These are a few little brief notes. Our next meeting will take place tomorrow, Thursday, at 7:30 p.m. in the Park Centre. Janice Miller will talk about the Lennoxtown Friendly Victualling Society. Sorry, that's in Kirkintilloch. Rotary. The club would like to thank Eastern Bartonshire Council for marking World Polo Day on October the 24th by using the colour purple to light up. The William Patrick Library, why purple? Purple ink is applied to the pinky of every immunised child. Rotary has been fighting to eradicate polio since 1985, and the number of cases has dropped from hundreds of thousands annually to less than 100 this year so far. We are almost there. Torrance. Our next meeting will take place at the Caldwell Hall on Monday, November the 8th at 7:30pm. The speaker is Rosalind Morrison on jewellery competition. Favourite members and visitors welcome.
Christmas Plea for Babes Group, an article by Liz Gallagher. MSP Rona Mackay and SNP Council Group Leader Gordon Lowe visited a Bishopbriggs social enterprise and praised it for its valuable work. Babes in the Wood was founded by Heather Royan 4 years ago in response to local need. As a parent herself, Heather recognised the merit in having a specialist service for the recycling of children's toys, clothing and equipment. Her social enterprise was founded to reduce the impact of landfill waste on the environment, to alleviate the effects of poverty on children from birth to 16 years, and to offer a friendly community shop where parents and carers can source low-cost items. Ms Mackay said, "This amazing non-profit is a much-needed organisation that helps vulnerable families. Health visitors, social workers, family support workers and Women's Aid can refer families. Babes in the Woods then create packs full of children's toys, clothing and equipment, which respond specifically to the individual needs of the families referred. If anyone has items to donate for their packs, they would be appreciated, especially in the run-up to Christmas. My office will be arranging a collection between now and Christmas for Babes in the Woods Bishopbriggs. If you would like to donate, contact my office on 0141 776 1561. Councillor Lowe added, Babes in the Wood also supports small businesses and parents who choose to visit or reserve a place in subsidised community classes, including baby massage and yoga. And there is a very nice picture of Councillor Gordon Lowe and our MSP Rona Mackay with the Babes in the Wood team standing outside their premises. MP blazes trail for safety in the kitchen. Kirkintilloch East MP Stuart MacDonald recently met Electrical Safety First to learn about the prevalence of fires involving cooking appliances and their Watch What You Heat campaign. Stuart, the SNP MP for Kirkintilloch East, said, I was shocked to learn 43% of all fires in Eastern Bartonshire are caused by cooking appliances. These fires are often easily preventable. For example, a third of Scots admit to leaving a hob or oven on after use, and the same admit to being distracted while cooking. And 1 in 5 confess to having cooked while drunk. This is why it's important to highlight Electrical Safety First's campaign to watch what you heat.
Friends rally round to support the family of tragic Lindsay teenager. And we have a photograph of Cornelia Burak, who died suddenly earlier this month. And she's such a pretty girl with long blonde hair. Cornelia Fund raises £4,300 by Liz Gallagher. A fundraising page set up by friends of a 15-year-old Lindsay Academy pupil who died suddenly has raised more than £4,000 within a week. The appeal was set up to support Cornelia Burak's parents and sister. The family want to take Cornelia's body back to her native Poland to be her final resting place. The funeral of the tragic teenager took place last Wednesday, almost 2 weeks after she died. Since then, the GoFundMe online page has raised £4,309, well over its original £2,000 target. Cornelia passed away in hospital with Dad Petra, Mum Sylvia and Sister Natalia by her side. Debbie Fraser, whose daughter was a school friend of Cornelia, launched the fundraiser. She posted, On Thursday, 11th of October, my daughter and her friends were told the devastating news at school that their best friend Cornelia Burak had passed away suddenly and unexpectedly at the tender age of 15. Cornelia was a popular pupil at Lindsay Academy, a beautiful, fun-loving 15-year-old who would light up any room and make everyone laugh with her funny faces. She was loved and will be so terribly missed. As a mother, you cannot imagine the pain of losing a child. Could I please ask you all to help raise money for the Burak family and help them fulfill their wish to take their baby girl home to Poland and to her final resting place. Celebration. Eastern Bartonshire Festival will remember Thomas Muir. The life and times of Scotland's father of democracy, Thomas Muir, is being celebrated in the area with song, talks, walks and entertainment. Muir was persecuted and eventually banished in 1793 for his work to champion reform, freedom of speech and voting rights for all. The inspirational figure's strong links to Eastern Bartonshire are celebrated every year by the Friends of Thomas Muir, who organise a festival in his memory, supported by the council, local businesses and the community. Now in its 8th year, the festival starts on Saturday with the Purple Poncho Parade and walk on the Thomas Muir Heritage Trail, which links the Campsie Fells to Glasgow. This event raises funds for Alzheimer's Scotland. An Eastern Bartonshire Schools art exhibition runs from November 17th to December 24th at the Thomas Muir Coffee Shop in Hunters Hill. Festive plea. Help food banks make a real difference to people in need. A call has gone out for volunteers in Eastern Bartonshire to help with the nationwide Tesco food collection for people in need this Christmas. Leading food charities Fair Share and the Trussell Trust are looking for members of the public to help at donation points at Tesco stores from Thursday, November 29th to Saturday, December the 1st. Volunteers are needed to hand out shopping lists to customers so that they can see the food items needed by food banks in their area and to answer any questions. Courses. Keen to learn something new? New College Lanarkshire's Kirkintilloch campus has an exciting range of courses starting in January 2019. There are more than 90 courses commencing in the new year at the college's campuses in Kirkintilloch, Coatbridge, Cumbernauld, Broadwood and Motherwell. Applications are now being accepted on January courses that combine first-class learning opportunities with the practical skills needed to succeed in industry. The courses are offered in subject areas as diverse as fitness, dental nursing, IT, childcare, kitchen fitting, barbering, graphic novel illustration, British Sign Language, makeup artistry, pat testing, bakery and photography. There are full-time, part-time, day release and evening study opportunities in everything from recreational learning to professional qualifications, including higher national certificates, HNC, entry-level courses, workplace learning certificates and leisure subjects. The Kirkintilloch campus offers part-time courses in British Sign Language and an introduction to computing. Prospective students can apply online or pick up a hard copy brochure and application copy from reception at any of the college's campuses. For more information, call 0300 555 8080. Independent councillor hits out at lack of consultation with constituents. Residents frozen out of council winter plan, by Liz Gallagher. A councillor says he has major concerns that local residents have been frozen out by the Lib Dem / Tory controlled council regarding its plan to have the area winter ready. Independent councillor Duncan Cumming hit out in response to the council's winter plan to keep pedestrians and motorists safe, which was reported in last week's Herald. Lib Dem councillor Susan Murray assured residents that the council is prepared for the coming months. She said the people of Eastern Bartonshire should know we are well placed and doing everything in our power to be prepared. But Councillor Cumming said, "I am upset and concerned our communities have not been consulted and as a result have been frozen out of making a significant contribution." Councillor Cumming said he witnessed for himself the adverse weather last winter and received numerous representations from constituents about the council's reaction to the conditions, particularly in December 2017. He said, "I proposed a motion to the council and this was tabled to be presented on Thursday, March 8th, by which time the beast from the east had wrought havoc here." Councillor Cumming's motion proposed the formation of an elected member or officer working group to undertake a detailed review of the council's reaction to the recent winter conditions. He moved that this working group would undertake proper, detailed and meaningful consultation through the Community Council Liaison Committee, community councils, residents' associations and the emergency services, and will give due consideration to any representations. He also moved that in developing the winter maintenance programme from 2018-19, officers have regard to the outcome of the working group's review. But Councillor Cumming's motion was rejected by Tory, Lib Dem and SNP councillors and replaced with a review of winter maintenance undertaken by a scrutiny panel of Audit and Risk Committee. Councillor Cumming said he was horrified at this approach. He said, "My motion had at its heart the community and would have afforded an opportunity for local people to engage in a proper, detailed and meaningful consultation. Under the current structure, the public can attend at meetings in Kirkintilloch, but are not allowed to participate. Many people have told me they are appalled by this." At a recent council meeting where the new winter service plan was adopted, Councillor Cumming said he tried yet again to get the council to engage in a proper, detailed and meaningful consultation process. He said, "Regrettably, the committee did not support me. I have also advocated additional supplies of grit should be available in the Bearsden and Mulgai area and not just in Kirkintilloch, which could involve a 20-mile round trip in potentially difficult road conditions. This is completely unacceptable and outrageous." And there is a photograph of Councillor Duncan Cumming pictured last winter standing in a lot of snow outside his house. Remembrance. Services to remember the fallen. In this, the centenary of the end of the First World War, Eastern Bartonshire will mark Remembrance Sunday with a number of events across the area. On Sunday, November 11th, services organised by local churches and community councils will be held in Auchinairn, Baldernock, Bishopbriggs, Kirkintilloch, Lennoxtown, Mulgai, Milton of Campsie, Torrance, Twicker and Woodlea. A service organised by Eastern Bartonshire Council will also be held at the War Memorial, Bearsden Cross. commencing at approximately 10:40 a.m. and will be led by the Reverend John Craib of Bearsden Baptist Church. It will be attended by Deputy Lord Lieutenant of Dumbartonshire Pat Steele, Armed Forces personnel, representatives of the Council, police community councils, churches, Boys Brigade and other local groups. Provost Alan Brown said, "I am proud that in this special centenary year of remembrance, the people of East Dumbartonshire will have the opportunity to come together to honour and remember those men and women who died in the service of their country. We shall fall silent and remember them. It will be my humble duty to represent the Council at the service in Milton of Campsie and lay a wreath in remembrance of those who paid the ultimate price. We must never forget, and I urge local people to find out what's happening near them and go along and be part of this important occasion. Traffic diversions will be in place in Bearsden, with Drimmen Road closed between Leadcamerach Road and Colquhoun Drive between 10 a.m. and noon, with no waiting restrictions in place in surrounding streets."
I'm about to read to you an article. It is part one of two editions, and it's written by Julie Curry, who's the features editor of the Johnson Press. It relates to a factory on the move to Redford Barracks. Every single poppy sold in Scotland is handmade by a team of veterans at the Lady Hague Poppy Factory in Edinburgh. After the Great War, the Errol Hague Fund acquired its poppies from England. But in 1926, Countess Hague, wife of Field Marshal Douglas Hague, suggested that a factory employing those men disabled by war should be created to make poppies for Scotland. First based in an old wood chopping factory in the grounds of Whiteford House in Edinburgh, it moved in 1965 to an old printing works in the city's Warriston Road. After this year's very special Armistice Centenary year, the factory will be on the move again, albeit on a temporary basis. A team of around 40 ex-servicemen and women who hand-assemble more than 5 million poppies and 12,000 wreaths every year for the Scottish Poppy Appeal will be moving to Redford Barracks for 2 years to allow for much-needed refurbishment of the factory. The aim is not to rip out the heart of what is a very special workplace, boasting regimental flags and thank you letters and posters from the thousands of school children who have visited, but some £2.2 million from the LIBOR Fund, fines imposed on banks for manipulation of LIBOR levels, will ensure the factory is fit for the 21st century. Overseeing the move immediately after this year's Remembrance Day will be factory manager Charlie Pelling, who has been at the helm since 2008. During our tour of the factory, Charlie explained more about the move. He said, "We'll be moving on November the 16th with the aim of being operational by the start of January. The aim is to be back at our factory in time for the 2020 or 2021 appeal. We have a small window of opportunity to make sure the move as the factory operates year-round. We are like a toy shop in that we work 12 months of the year with sales throughout that period, but our sales climax in the run-up to Remembrance Day in the way a toy shop does at Christmas. We've got to strip out asbestos from the factory, update the heating and wiring, modernise the windows and install a lift to the first floor. We have to make the factory health safety compliant and fit for purpose for the 21st century. Charlie is also hopeful that there will be enough funds to create a learning facility for the many groups who visit each year. He said thousands of visitors tour the factory every year, from pensioners to preschoolers. Around 3,000 school children visit the factory each year, with the same number of adults too. We want to create an educational facility where they can find out more about the factory before touring the site. The workers who power the factory will, however, remain as its beating heart and will be involved in the refurbishment and move. We have records for more than 800 servicemen and women who have worked here since 1926. We've had in excess of 2,000 workers, said Charlie. The factory exists to provide employment for ex-service personnel who may otherwise struggle to find employment. They work the year round to ensure that enough poppies are created for the poppy appeal and for the many wreaths laid at ceremonies across the country. The move to Redford Barracks will undoubtedly be challenging, but we've got a plan and some very good people here, so we're confident we'll do it and still be able to create all the poppies required for the next year's campaign. Speaking to the veterans, it is clear how much pride they take in their work. We'll meet some of them in next week's feature. So while there are fears that 130-year-old printer and poppy cutter may not survive the move, we're sure the team will deliver as usual for the 2019 Poppy Appeal. And now we have an additional article about the poppies. It's headed A Special Year for Saying Thank You. More than 160 organisations in Scotland have signed up to Poppy Pledge to raise £1,918 this year. Poppy Scotland is gearing up for its largest annual fundraising campaign, taking place in the lead up to Remembrance Sunday in November. 5 million poppies are distributed across Scotland by an army of volunteers who ensure that poppies and tins are displayed in shops, businesses and schools. Money raised during the Scottish Poppy Appeal is used to provide vital, life-changing support to the armed forces community living in Scotland. And overseeing the campaign is Gordon Meekie, head of fundraising at Poppy Scotland, whose Edinburgh headquarters at Newhague House, neighbour to the Poppy Factory. We were able to catch up with Gordon during our factory tour to find out more about this very special centenary year. Gordon, a Fifer, who served in the RAF from 1988 to 1995, first volunteered with Poppy Scotland 10 years ago. He was appointed 2.5 years ago and feels like he's back in service again. I was only 25 when I came out of the RAF, so I never viewed myself as a veteran, he said. When I started volunteering, I started wearing my veteran's badge. Now I make sure I wear it with pride daily. While Gordon is now employed by Poppy Scotland, it's clear that the role is more than a job to him. He's immensely proud of the 10,000 volunteers and 450 leaders who amass every year to ensure the Poppy Appeal is a success the length and breadth of the country. He said, the volunteers represent Poppy Scotland across the country. They are the people who help to raise just under £3 million every year from the Poppy Appeal to help support our armed forces community. Everyone, from big business sponsors to my Auntie Jean, play their part in raising the funds. Of course, the factory also plays its part by providing enough poppies every year, and Gordon is in little doubt that it has a special place in people's hearts. He said it is a very special place which is pretty humbling to visit. The factory works hard in hand with us to produce all the poppies we need each year for the appeal. It also serves to educate people about the sacrifices made by so many in conflicts around the world. It's largely thanks to the atmosphere in the factory that Poppy Scotland is also launching its own mobile education bus next year. Gordon said, we want to take the Poppy Factory experience out on the road by turning a lorry into a classroom. Not all schools can come to Edinburgh, so we want to take the factory to them from April 2019. Meantime, Gordon is hoping this year's Special Armistice Centenary, Poppies, pictured to the right of the article with the over-imprint of 1918 to 2018 is embossed on the poppy. He added more than 160 organisations have signed up to the pledge to raise £1,918 in this special anniversary year. It is our most ambitious fundraising campaign to date, and we hope it will bring in an additional £300,000 for the Poppy Appeal.
This is another article by Liz Gallagher. Step closer to 23.5 million special needs school. A report on the first findings of a consultation to close Eastern Bartonshire's 2 special needs school and build a new 23.5 million state-of-the-art building has been published. Eastern Bartonshire Council is proposing to shut Campsie View School in Lenzie and Merkland School in Kirkintilloch. The new school will be built as a site in Kirkintilloch, and the Council said this week it is moving to the next stage of the consultation process. A spokesperson said, having launched a consultation in April, a report on the findings has been published and will be available to view in accordance with Scottish Government legislation. Parents, residents and other interested parties can visit the report online, and the proposals and reference copies are also available at Campsie View School, Merkland School, community hubs and council offices at Kirkintilloch. Joint Leader Councillor Vaughan Moody said, "The report lays out a vast range of information about the consultation, including the background and development of the proposal, the assessment by Education Scotland and the overall findings of the consultation. There is also a summary of issues raised in the consultation, a discussion of those issues and potential related actions that could be considered in implementing the proposal. It is a very detailed report." Under the Schools Consultation Scotland Act 2010, this consultation report must be published for at least 3 weeks before the Council can decide whether or not to implement the proposal. This is known as the extended consideration period. This period is intended to allow interested parties to read the report and make their views known to their councillors. Joint Leader Councillor Andrew Paulson said, "Following this 3-week extended consideration period, the Council will make a decision on whether or not to proceed with the proposal, so it is important to consider the report and make your views heard during this time." He added, "If the Council decides to proceed with this proposal following this stage of the statutory consultation, the Scottish Government will be notified of the Council's decision. Scottish ministers then have 6 weeks to decide whether to call in that decision for review. For the first few weeks of that period, interested parties may make representations to ministers regarding the decision. More information on the call-in process and the relevant legislation can be found on the Scottish Government website." Food for thought for youngsters as they try recipes from around the world at School Taster Session. Primary school pupils across North Lanarkshire are being encouraged to try some new recipes from around the world at school meals and become food explorers. North Lanarkshire Council's new autumn and winter menu includes dishes with extra fresh fruit and vegetables and offers new taste bud experiences for young adventurers. Pupils can collect stamps when they choose one of the new main dishes and will be entered into a prize draw when they collect 8 stamps. There's a skateboard and helmet as a prize for the main winner in each school, our Food Explorer champion. There's also a prize pencil for each food explorer who has collected 8 stamps. We're always looking for new ways to increase the fresh fruit and vegetables in our school menus, as well as offering different foods from around the world, said Anne Hanlon, business manager. For example, our homemade tomato sauce used with pasta and pizzas includes 3 extra vegetables and is blended so that the children don't notice the difference. Our new muffin recipes contain one of 5 different fruits or vegetables, so taste delicious, but are healthier. Among the new dishes are savoury rice with tortilla triangles, vegetable crumble, lamb kofta with flatbread and tzatziki, and enchiladas with chopped cherry tomatoes. Primary school meals cost £2 for 2 courses, which includes a drink plus soup or a sweet treat with fruit or yoghurt offered as a daily option. All meals are now served with 2 portions of seasonal vegetables or fruit, and the popular Fruity Tuesdays and Jelly and Fruit Fridays continue. The Food Explorer promotion is sponsored by Breaks and runs from October the 22nd to November the 30th. And there's a nice picture of some of the children with some delicious looking food and holding up the menus. Now we have school reports. And first of all, we have Turnbull High School. Uni visit. The higher environmental science class was invited by the son of a staff member to attend the Grand Environment Day at the University of Strathkelvin. The event was to mark the end of a long project where many schools across Scotland have participated in research into the condition of our soil. We heard about the results of the investigation and learned about some of the techniques they used to analyse the soil. We also heard from 2 guest speakers who gave interesting talks. First, Dr. Christine Davidson explained how research into soils is happening across the world, and in particular worrying finds in Lagos, Nigeria, where electronic waste is leaving huge quantities of poisonous metals in the soil. Then Professor Ian Stewart from the University of Plymouth talked about climate change, its devastating impact across the globe, and how we should be looking to our pupils as the solution to protecting our planet. Professor Ian Stewart is a well-known geologist who has presented many documentaries on climate change, and some of the class were very excited to get to meet him and have their picture taken with him. We will be looking out for any other opportunities to participate in research projects with the university, and hopefully next time we can get our hands dirty and involved in some fieldwork. For now, we need to start planning our own fieldwork for our higher assignments. Sponsored walk. On Thursday, September the 20th, the S1s took part in a sponsored walk that stretched from the school grounds to the canal and back. 130 pupils took part alongside S6 volunteers and staff helpers. The walk was arranged by the Health and Wellbeing Action Group in the school to promote active lifestyles and exercise in pupils. The aim of the walk was to show pupils that even walking can have a positive impact on health and lifestyle, along with mental well-being. S1 pupils also raised money for Mary's Meals with the goal of raising £5,000 to feed a school in Liberia for the third consecutive year. They raised an exceptional figure of just under £2,000, which was a fantastic achievement. Everyone met in the PE department, where we were led on our walk by Piper R. Hughes, who was a former pupil at the school. The walk began from the PE department building to the leisure dome, where they crossed the road and followed the path to the canal before returning back. When they returned to the school, they were greeted with fresh fruit to eat. Vocation Awareness Day. On September 11th, S1 to S4 pupils had the fantastic opportunity to attend an event as part of National Vocations Awareness Week. The day-long event, arranged by the RE department in collaboration with Sarah, proved a huge success, with various speakers of different nationalities who had fascinating stories of how they found their vocations. This opportunity allowed our wider community to connect, celebrate, and through our faith, everyone was joined together in considering God's calling for each of us. We were fortunate enough to welcome back 3 former pupils of Turnbull High who have each chosen religious paths to follow in their lives. Sister Andrea of Sisters of the Gospel of Life, brother soon-to-be Father Anthony of the Passionists, and Mary Clare, who works for the Archdiocesan Youth Team. At the end of each talk, the pupils were able to chat and ask questions to any of the visitors, which gave everyone different perspectives on the idea of vocation. We were reminded that faith is the key to happiness, and from this fabulous experience, we pray that each pupil will become stronger in their faith and begin to listen to God's voice in their lives. And another school item, this time from Kilsyth Academy, MAD Group. Following on from the tremendous community spirit of our fundraising for Teenage Cancer Trust, we are setting up a MAD group in school. MAD stands for Making a Difference. This could be fundraising, food hampers, toy collections, or simple random acts of kindness. Mrs. Gordon is looking for pupils from all years to be involved who want to make a difference in the school and the community.
The big picture. This week's picture shows Sergeant Tom Morton, aged 87, a Korean War veteran, admiring some of the 9,057 hand-stitched poppies on the side of Kilmarnock Parish Church. And the image was taken for our sister's title, The Scotsman. If you would like to take out a subscription, call 0330 123 5050. The picture is really beautiful. We can't see all 9,000 of the poppies, but the ones we can see are beautifully done, and a photograph with Sergeant Tom Morton, who is 87, doesn't look 87, but 87, and his hat off, standing in homage in front of it. A very nice picture for this particular time of the year. The Listings Guide. November the 2nd, Mugdock Mackers. Christmas Shopping Day, Mugdock Country Park, 11 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. You are invited to join the Mackers for their Christmas Shopping Day. They have extended opening hours until 7:30 p.m. and you are invited to save 10% off all purchases, as well as picking up some special gifts for customers too. Call 0141 956 6100. Car boot sale. Charity sale at Tesco Car Park in Mackay. From 7 a.m. to 11:30 p.m, £10 per car, £12 for small vans and £15 for larger vans. Sell your unwanted items. The fee for parking your car goes to charity, and this is on November the 4th. November the 5th, there's a history talk. The next talk, organised by the Mulgai and Bearsden Historical Society, will be given by Susan Morrison on the topic Stuart plots. Kidnapping, murder and treasonous intrigue were all part of the royal day of a Stuart monarch. The talk will take place on Monday, November 5th at 7:30 p.m. in the Lesser Hall of Bearsden Community Hub, Bearsden Cross. Visitors are welcome and the cost is £4. November the 7th, People's Voice. Beauclair Academy in Bearsden will host the annual Thomas Muir Symposium. This year's theme is the People's Voice, and it will feature speakers from the academic community, secondary school pupils and members of local history societies. The afternoon includes a talk and music by pupils. November the 10th to December the 20th, exhibition. This is the art gallery in Les Mulgai. November the 21st, there's an author talk in Lennoxtown, library at 2 to 3 p.m. Author is David Munro, who wrote the Time Jigsaw series of books, and he will talk about his path from business to published author on Wednesday, November 21st, from 2 to 3 p.m. at Lennoxtown Library as part of National Book Week 2018. Thomas Muir Festival on November the 23rd. Moya Brennan in concert, Cadder Church, Bishopbriggs, Friday, November 23rd at 7:30 p.m. Moya has been described as the voice of Clanad and First Lady of Celtic music. Accompanying Brennan will be Cormac de Barra on harp and vocals, Aisling Jarvis, guitar, bouzouki, whistle and vocal, Leah Wright, violin and vocal, and Paul Jarvis, keyboards, percussion and vocals. Tickets are available for the festival, priced at £25. Until December the 21st, Christmas crafts at the Aldkirk Museum in Kirkintilloch. This year's guest artist is Jackie Stevenson. Jackie studied drawing and painting at Glasgow School of Art and has exhibited widely in galleries and exhibitions across the UK. View a wide range of local craftwork from jewellery to ceramics. The museum is open Tuesday to Saturday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. to 5 p.m.
This week in history, worldwide events from October 31st to November the 6th. October 31st, 1984. The Prime Minister of India, Indira Gandhi, was shot and killed by two of her bodyguards in New Delhi. She was on her way to be interviewed by British actor Peter Ustinov, who was filming a documentary for Irish television. November the 1st, 1756. Wanlock Head Miners' Library in Dumfries and Galloway was founded with 32 members. It is the second oldest workers' subscription library in Europe and was funded by subscriptions from the miners. November 2nd, 1959. The first section of the M1 motorway between Junction 5, Watford, and Junction 18, Crick, was opened by the Transport Minister Ernest Marples. November 3rd, 1975. The UK's first oil pipeline was officially opened by Queen Elizabeth II. The 130-mile pipeline, which runs from Cruden Bay to Grangemouth, servicing the Forties oil field, built by British Petroleum with the help of a £370 million loan from the government. November the 4th, 2008. Barack Obama was elected the 44th President of the United States, gaining almost 53% of the popular vote and 365 electoral votes, and defeating the Republican Senator John McCain of Arizona and Governor Sarah Palin of Alaska. He was the first African American to become president, and there's a very nice picture of him in front of the White House with a lovely smile on his face. November the 5th, 1605. a plot to blow up the Houses of Parliament and kill James I was discovered. The plot was a protest against the treatment of Catholics by the Protestant king and was led by Robert Catesby and Guy Fawkes. The story is remembered each year when guys are burned in a celebration known as Bonfire Night. November 6, 1999. All 6 Australian states voted against severing ties with the UK. In a landmark referendum, 54.87% voted no to the question of Australia becoming a republic with a president. Remember this? On October 31st, 1941, the Mount Rushmore National Memorial in the Black Hills of Dakota was completed. The massive sculptures of the heads of 4 US presidents, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln, took 15 years to complete. It was designed by Gutzon Borglum, and there is a picture of these very famous heads. And there's also a picture of Lonnie Donegan, who died on tour in Lincolnshire on November the 3rd, 2002. He is credited with being the founding father of British pop. Fire Service issues warning over the setting of deliberate fires. A report by Dawn Renton. Firefighters were drafted to more than 2,000 deliberate fires during last year's bonfire season. Statistics show that crews responded to 1,214 secondary fires, such as bonfires, as well as 748 refuse fires between October 13 and November 6, 2017. This is an overall reduction of 421 from 2016, but Assistant Chief Officer David McGowan branded those responsible as reckless and told how they put communities at risk. He spoke out to warn that firefighters will work closely with Police Scotland and Crime Stoppers. But he also appealed to parents, carers and young people to follow advice to stay safe this bonfire season, including attending organised fireworks displays. ACO McGowan is the Scottish Fire and Rescue Services Director of Prevention and Protection. He said, "The Scottish Fire and Rescue Service has a zero-tolerance approach to deliberate fire raising because it puts our communities at great risk. It presents a danger to life, property and the environment. Indeed, it is reckless in the extreme because we see all too clearly the loss and the devastation that can result from fire. I am pleased to note a reduction in the amount of deliberate incidents we attended last year, but we can never be complacent, and we will always work to prevent them from happening in the first place by outlining the very real dangers and the stark consequences. We will continue to work closely with our police and local authority partners to ensure that those responsible are identified and dealt with accordingly. This behaviour from a very small minority within our communities cannot and indeed will not be tolerated." The experienced firefighter also reached out to communities to follow safety advice. He added, "It absolutely goes without saying that we prefer to prevent fires, not fight fires. As a result, our firefighters work extremely hard to engage with people of all ages and equip them with the knowledge and the awareness of how to stay safe. And this includes around bonfires and fireworks. But we would prefer everyone to attend organised displays. Anyone with information about deliberate fire raising should contact the free and confidential Crime Stoppers helpline on 0800 555 111. And there's a picture of a very large bonfire.
Scottish Junior Cup. Scottish Cup woe as Rob Roy are stung by Thornton. Rob Roy crashed out of the Scottish Junior Cup at Guy's Meadow on Saturday at the hands of Fife side Thornton Hibs. Reports Neil Anderson. Stuart Maxwell's side paid the price for wasteful finishing as the visitors booked their place in the fourth round with a 3-1 victory. The visitors started off brightly, and in 5 minutes Gary Thompson drilled a shot narrowly past. At the other end, a John Kelly free kick was headed over the bar by Willie Sawyers as Rob Roy started to make some better moves. However, the Fife side were playing neat passing football and were always dangerous on the break, with the Rabs' defence at times looking vulnerable. Midway through the first half, Scott Walker's low shot was pushed clear by Hibs keeper Ryan Linton, and Lee Gallagher had a snapshot blocked. Rabs continued to press, but inept finishing prevented them taking the lead. And in the stroke of half-time, disaster struck for the Rabs when Hutchison shouted for a cross from Daniel McNabb, but failed to make proper contact with the ball, which then bounced off the head of Thompson and rolled into the empty net. The Roy pressed from the start of the second half for an equaliser, but in the 51st minute, Thompson, a thorn in the Rob Roy's defence since the opening minute, broke down the left and he cut inside to calmly curl the ball past Hutchison to double the Fifers' lead. A minute later, the same player should have increased the lead when he fired a low effort just wide of the post. Thompson continued to torment the Rob Roy defence, and from his 35-yard free kick, Hutchison did well to push the ball wide. After Hutchison had saved well from substitute Andrew Adam, Thornton put the game beyond the reach of Rob Roy in the 85th minute when Anthony was left free in the box to knock the ball into the empty net. The Roy did manage to score a consolation goal 3 minutes later when substitute Gary Carroll challenged Linton for a high ball, which then broke to Sawyers, who drilled the ball home. However, it was all too late, and at the final whistle, the Hibs players and supporters celebrated wildly as their side progressed to the last 32 of the competition. And we have a photograph of Kirkintilloch Rob Roy's dream of Scottish Junior Cup success were ended by Thornton Hibs in Saturday's third round tie at Guy's Meadow, and the two players are fighting to get to the ball. And in the Junior Cup, rampant Rossvale stunned former winners with 5-star show. Rossvale reached the fourth round of the Scottish Junior Cup with a stunning 5-1 victory over 3 times Tayport on their own ground. The Bishopbriggs side never looked back after an astonishing start, which saw them go 3 goals up inside the first 11 minutes. Their blistering pace caught the home side out as early as the second minute, when Liam McGonigal won the ball at the halfway line and raced the full length of the pitch, leaving 2 defenders stranded, before crossing for the diving Chris Zock to bullet his header into the net. Vale almost went 2 up on the 7-minute mark when a Kirk Forbes free kick from the left was headed narrowly past by Craig Buchanan. But just 2 minutes later they did double their score when Zock turned his marker and crossed to the inrushing McGonigal, who buried his shot high into the net. Rossvale weren't finished there. 2 minutes after that they won another free kick out on the right. McGonigal took a short pass from Gary Giffen, raced down the wing, and his cross found Matt Niven, who gave the keeper no chance with an excellent header from the edge of the box. Tayport were hardly in the game until they pulled a goal back in the 17th minute. Jamie Gill broke down the left and found Christopher Liversedge, who took a touch, then fired his shot into the corner of the Vale net, with Jamie Donnelly well beaten. However, Rossvale remained in total control. Andy Johnson broke down the right and crossed to Zock, whose final effort went narrowly past, and Giffen then laid off an excellent pass to David Ledbetter, whose shot went just over. Tayport kicked off the second half, but found themselves further behind after Vale's first attack when they won a corner on the right. McGonigal fired it over, and Gary McManaman got a head to the ball, which sailed high into the net past the helpless keeper. Rossvale were stunned to be reduced to 10 men when Zock, already on a yellow card, found himself receiving a second when he was taken out of action by Kieran Conway off the ball, with the Tayport player escaping punishment. But within a minute it was 10-aside as Liversedge received a straight red card after a straight elbow into Ledbetter's face. The game was getting tousy, but Rossvale continued to move the ball about at pace and went further ahead in the 65th minute. McMenamin played a long pass right through the middle of the Port defence to McGonigal, who left everyone behind with his speed, only to be pulled down by the keeper for a penalty, which he himself expertly put away. With Tayport tiring rapidly, Giffen burst through the right. His cross was missed by Stephen McGladrigan, but McGonigal managed to get a shot in, but it again went narrowly past. Tayport introduced Stephen Duffy, but within minutes he was exiting the park after a terrible tackle on Giffen. It was one-way traffic for Rossvale, and McGladrigan should have been awarded another penalty with 5 minutes to go when he burst past the tired Tayport defenders and was pushed in the back by the last man as he closed down on the keeper, but play was waved on. Seconds later he was elbowed in the back of the head by Conway, but this time the referee blew for full time to save the player from walking.
We have now some articles from the heading Sports Digest. The first article is about Lenzie Tennis Club. Lenzie Tennis Club held its annual club's finals day and junior championships with matches played in front of members, families and friends. In particular, the final of the gents single was a fantastic match, which could have gone either way, Fraser Joss eventually winning against Paul Elliott. The rest of the senior finals were also very interesting, while the junior championships held earlier were again well supported and enjoyed by those taking part and those watching. Results were: ladies singles winner Audrey Beggs, runner-up Alison Smith; gents singles winner Fraser Joss, runner-up Paul Elliott; gents double winners Fraser Joss and Gordon McNeil, runners-up Gary Watson and Ewan Anderson; mixed double winners Keith Beggs and Audrey Beggs, runners-up Fraser Joss and Alison Bennett; under 12 boys winner Gregor Sinclair, runner-up Andrew Wright; mini green winner Andrew Wright, runner-up James Stewart; mini orange winner Robbie Scott, runner-up James Miller; mini red winner Callum McNeil, runner-up Christopher Stewart. The club have a new level 3 coach, head coach Alison Sharp, and the latest block of coaching has started. For details, contact Alison at alisonsharptennis@gmail.com or telephone 07738 845 864. And now we are on to some football reports. Campsie Minerva moved into the third round of the West of Scotland Cup by defeating Port Glasgow Old Boys Union 2-1 after extra time. And there is a photograph of action from that game, which they reported win for Campsie Minerva. Hairstains secured full points with a 2-1 Forster Central Scottish AFL Premier Division trip to Steens Thistle. They dominated much of the match but failed to find the net enough time to provide a cushion. This left them hanging on by their fingertips in the last nervy 5 minutes. The score at the final score of that was Steens. I beg your pardon. I'm sorry, I have to tell you this. The rest of this one, the first possibility fell to Steens, a high cross from the right. set up a header, but the ball was sent high and wide. McClune created a chance for Broadfoot with the ball down the left, and he swung inside with a touch, but could only shoot wide. However, he had better luck with the next attempt in the 32nd minute. Broadfoot threaded a pass put to him in the box, and although it looks as though he'd gone too wide right, he cleverly curled it into the left. Steens equalised 6 minutes into the second half. Their man in the box managed to turn a weak shot that was not dealt with. Hastings retook the lead in the 64th minute. Black crossed to give Fitzsimmons the chance to do what he is good at, blasting an unstoppable shot into the net. Hastings tried hard to put some distance between themselves and Steens, but did not capitalise on any chances. This left them desperately trying to keep a hold on the points as the game drew to a conclusion. Glasgow City, they celebrated their 12th consecutive Scottish title after defeating Spartans 4-2 at Petershill Park. Rugby, Alan Glens. Alan Glens remained second in the Tennent's West Division 1 table after thumping Annan 76-17 at the Bear Yards. Tries came from Levi Ekivati, 5, Alistair McConnell, 2, Grant Henderson, Sam Morrison, John O'Morell, David Lowe and Ross McCarran, 1 each. Scott Thompson kicked 8 conversions. The win moved the Bishopbriggs side above previous leaders Eastcombe Ride, who lost at Irvine, but Greenock Wanderers on the same points as Glens are the new leaders on points difference after hammering Strathendrick 74 points to 6. Lindsay maintained their 100% record at the top of Tennent's West Division 2 after 8 games with a 24-3 win over Cumbernauld at Viewfield on Saturday.
And our final football item is Rob Roy go out but Vale through. There were mixed fortunes for Kirkintilloch Rob Roy and Ross Vale in their Scottish Junior Cup third round matches. Rob Roy, quarter-finalists for the past 2 seasons, saw their dreams dashed early this year as they went down 3-1 at home to Thornton Hibs. Boss Stuart Maxwell admitted, "We had a lot of the ball but we were sloppy and so wasteful in the final third. I'm absolutely gutted for the supporters. The players let them down and let themselves down. But Ross Vale are through to the last 32 after a stunning 5-1 win away to 3-time winners Tayport. Delighted boss Gordon Moffat said, "We were massive underdogs, so there was no pressure on us. We gave it a go and it paid off." That one was for all the guys behind the scenes and our small but very loyal support. Both sides returned to league football this Saturday. Rob Roy travelled to Largs Thistle for a West Region Premiership match, and Ross Vale are also away to unbeaten Championship leaders Rutherford and Glencairn. Both games kick off at 2 p.m. And this is our final item, and it's about pool duo go for world glory. Kirkintilloch pool players Robert Hoey and Hugh McBride are hoping they are on cue to be on top of the world next month. The pair are part of the Scotland Masters team who will be taking part in the Black Ball International World Championships in Bridlington from November the 20th to the 26th. The competition will take place at the magnificent Spa Arena on a round-robin group and then knockout stage basis with each match decided over 25 singles. The surroundings will be more than familiar to Robert, who is also the team manager, and Hugh. It was there earlier this year that they were part of the Scottish Pool Association teams which won the European Championship. Having qualified through the group stages, they beat Northern Ireland 13-8 in the semi-final to set up a final against defending champions Wales, who had beaten the Scots 13-12 in the previous year's final. But the Scots turned the table with a comprehensive 3-2 win, and Robert reckons that should give them confidence as they go for a World and European double. He said, "I've played in the World Championships twice before and the best we've done is third. It's always tough, but we're going there pretty confident, and after winning the last one, we've got a pretty strong team." The Scots team also includes Ross McInnes from Dunfermline, Ray Stewart from Aberdeen, Scott Lynn from Ayrshire and Jim Stevens from Glasgow. As well as the home nations, other countries taking part include France, Australia, South Africa, Gibraltar and Catalonia. And we have a nice picture of the Robert and Hugh with their European Championship trophy they won earlier this year. And that's the final item for this month's reading from the The A-Team, our next reading will be on the 28th of November, which will be our final reading for this year. In the meantime, keep well and keep warm. Goodbye.